I wanted to see if the Xbox Ally could be my only device. Now, I fully believe that the Xbox Ally X and other Z2 extreme handhelds can fill that void and be your only device, but I wanted to see if the smaller brother, the Xbox Ally, could fill that gap, especially with its lower powered APU, the Z2A, and only 16 gigabytes of RAM. Now, despite the fact that this is literally a handheld gaming device, surprise, surprise, it is running Windows 11, so that just technically makes it an actual PC. And as such, I wanted to see what it was like for light work activities. Putting myself in the mindset of someone that was trying to make this their only device, could they actually do some work on it? And I found that, yeah, you totally can. We'll get into that. But there are some essential accessories that's going to make your life a lot easier if you want to treat this more like a portable laptop or a portable computer in some way. So I chose to hook up the Xbox Ally with a wireless mouse and a wireless keyboard. Now, you could get one of those all-in-one little fold-out ones or something to make it ultra portable. I just had what I had laying around, which was like a smaller keyboard and just a lightweight mouse. But I also used an Arzopa 1080p 144 hertz monitor as well, like one of those little portable monitors. And whilst I could connect that monitor via USB-C straight to the device via the USB-C on the top, I decided I was going to use the Asus ROG Bulwark dock because it's got all the ins and outs that I thought I'd need just to make my life a little bit easier. But you could totally just get like a USB-C hub and stick it on the top and then run the monitor via the other USB-C as well. Now, hooking all of this up, once connected, everything actually worked really good, especially because that new Insider update that I'm running that I did a video about recently that lets you add any application to Xbox mode or Xbox full screen experience, whatever they decide to change the name to, which means that you can stay within Xbox mode without backing out to the desktop at all. So you'll be able to do all your updates, add web browsers, any other apps that you might be using for work or whatever, and you can just access it straight there and then. It's actually really good. And of course, using a mouse and keyboard does mean that you can still navigate through this, even though it's kind of designed for a controller. There's just a couple of shortcuts that you need to know. So if you press the Windows key plus G, this is going to open up your Xbox game bar. Obviously, if you're a PC gamer already, you probably all know this anyway, but I just tell you anyway. And from Xbox game bar, you can access Armory Crate tab as well if you want to access, your TDPs and different settings there, which is pretty cool. And another tip is if you are looking at doing like light work on this or anything like that, I would enable CPU boost just to give the CPU a bit more of a punch. Another shortcut that you probably want to know is Windows key plus tab, because this then opens up that carousel and you can use your mouse to navigate around, or I was actually using the arrow keys on the keyboard. But of course, if you want a more traditional PC experience and really like treat this like a work environment, then you can back out of Xbox mode entirely, just go to desktop, and then there you have it. It's more like an actual PC or laptop. And loading up the best browser in the world that comes pre-installed on the Xbox Ally, Microsoft Edge, I was able to open up YouTube, have that playing on one side, snap it to the left-hand side, and on the right-hand side, I could do really light work like emails, I could do some scripting, I could do some Excel sheets, some PowerPointing, whatever people do with jobs that doesn't require media. Because, of course, I wasn't expecting it to be able to handle my crazy files from these cameras, which are downsampled like 8K to 4K cameras, and they're in H.265 codecs. Like, decompressing all that was stacking up video files. A full-on desktop struggles with that, so I was not expecting the Xbox Ally to be able to handle my workflow. But for a light workflow, someone that just wants easygoing stuff, again, replying to emails, spreadsheets, document style stuff, absolutely more than capable. Just be aware, without the accessories I mentioned earlier, like a keyboard and mouse and an extra screen, it might be a little bit difficult. But there you go. Now, since I had it set up to be more of a PC, I thought I'd try some gaming with the keyboard and mouse. And unfortunately, here's where it got let down a little bit, surprisingly. Despite disabling the onboard built-in controller and also setting the game mode to desktop within Armory Crate for the navigation, right? Streaming games from Game Pass just really didn't want to work properly. It was weird. It didn't recognize the mouse and keyboard properly. It kind of half did. So some games would recognize the keyboard, no problem, and the left and right click on my mouse was fine, but then I couldn't control the camera when moving the mouse around. It was really strange. And this even happened with games that said that they supported mouse and keyboard within Xbox Cloud Gaming. Now, I assume that's just because it was interfering with that onboard controller. It was like thought there was a controller attached even though I disabled it. It was weird. Couldn't really get it to work. Strange one. Steam games, on the other hand, of course, just worked fine because it was like, hey, you're playing on PC. I see a keyboard and mouse. It's all good. So, yeah, if you're playing on other storefronts, then you'll be totally fine. But streaming games, at least, specifically, just didn't seem to work very well. Now, connecting a controller, though, is another story. And this is obviously the way Xbox wants you to be playing their games, because it just works and they are really like controller focused, right? So I'll talk a little bit more about streaming in a minute, but streaming South of Midnight and Gears of War onto that portable 1080p 144 hertz monitor that I mentioned earlier was actually excellent. Now, you might have missed our docked video last week where I talked about the Xbox Ally X and the Xbox Ally docked is better than you think, and going through the pros and cons and all that good stuff there. So if you did miss that video, I'll reiterate it here, but just be aware that I won't go over everything, so please go and look at that video for a real in-depth look at the pros, cons, and misconceptions of docked and cloud gaming. So if a game is running well handheld at 20 watts, it will run with the exact same FPS docked, providing you're outputting the same resolution and game settings as well on any size screen. This is a huge misconception. I go further in depth about this in that other video I just mentioned. However, I don't think that's where the Xbox Ally actually excels here. I think utilizing Game Pass's cloud streaming is much better for docked play, and if you're a GeForce Now subscriber, you'll have an even better time again. Now, as someone that's strictly gone on record hating cloud gaming in the past, I never thought I'd actually be saying it's worth doing it now. But I am. Things changed, and I wasn't wrong back then because it sucked back then. But now it doesn't suck, so I'm saying it's good. Go figure. And that's because the new 1440p higher bitrate streaming from Xbox Game Pass up to 60 FPS, which is being offered to Ultimate subscribers, has actually totally changed my mind, especially for these lower tiered handhelds like the Xbox Ally. So games run at higher resolutions, higher graphical fidelity, and higher frame rates than can be achieved natively, even by the more expensive Xbox Ally X. And the best bit is streaming only uses around 5 watts of power, so you're actually saving on your energy bill as well. And you're going to say, oh, Andy, but the latency sucks, man. Well, you're wrong, because this too was my previous main gripe with cloud streaming, and the latency was just unusable. It was disgusting. Let's just, call the facts there. But now it's actually almost like playing natively. It's not quite, but it's almost like playing natively. And I reckon if you were Ethernetted in via a dock or whatever, it would actually even be better again, because my experience is just from Wi-Fi. And I was seriously stunned by just how playable something as fast-paced as Doom the Dark Ages was whilst streaming. Whether I was streaming to the portable 1080p monitor or my 4K TV or even handheld, the experience was overall great, despite hating that I'm now recommending cloud gaming. Oh, well, yeah, there we go. But I honestly recommend that you go and try it. And for docked play of any kind, cloud gaming is absolutely the way forward for the Xbox Ally, at least. So what about handheld gaming then? I mean, that is kind of like what the ultimate thing is, right? And we have covered this on the channel in the past, but I'm going to talk about it some more. Now, obviously for me, I love handheld gaming. I mean, the channel is kind of based around handheld gaming, so you'd like to think that we like handheld gaming. But we can't discount the fact that it's one of the most comfortable handhelds on the market ergonomically, despite how it looks. So it's basically just like playing an actual Xbox controller, and they really have nailed that. And just that alone means a lot for a lot of people, because there are a lot of other handhelds on the market that can be very awkward to hold for long play sessions, whether that's weight or just like weird shapes and stuff. Xbox and Asus have kind of nailed it. So since the release, the Xbox Ally has actually been surprising me. Obviously, indie games, let's just take Silksong for example, is going to be absolutely brilliant on this kind of device. But for those wanting more AAA games on a budget, it still can be capable. So we do a series of videos on the channel called Will It Run, where we test the latest releases across multiple handhelds, and the Xbox Ally always surprises me. Let's just take Fatal Frame 2 remake that just recently came out, for example, and I really wasn't expecting the performance to be good on that, if I'm perfectly honest. But at 20 watts on both the Xbox Ally and the Xbox Ally X, the performance wasn't that much different. And I'll always preach about the fact that VRR screens are essential for handheld gaming. And luckily, the Xbox Ally's 120Hz 1080p panel has VRR, so that is its saving grace. No matter how much the game's frame rate fluctuates, and it will fluctuate on the Xbox Ally, I'm telling you now, that VRR just smooths over absolutely everything. Even if it's underneath the VRR sort of threshold, low frame rate compensation also ensures that your image remains smooth without stutters or screen tearing. It's brilliant. Pair that with huge new titles like Crimson Desert, making lower than low PC settings to accommodate for these handhelds, means that you can run like brand new, crazily demanding games, providing that you don't mind upscaling and playing at like 30 FPS. But on the other hand, you have games like Gears of War Remake that play exceptionally well handheld, and if you're into emulating games or just playing like slightly older titles, anything from Game Pass or Steam library will play really well. So ultimately, it comes down to value, right? At $600 or £500 here in the UK, actually, I've seen it for less. I've seen it at like $500 and £450 here in the UK. It's one of the more affordable handhelds on the market currently, especially if you're looking at a Windows 11 device. Now, yes, I do believe this is versatile enough for light workloads. Video streaming, if you're like watching Netflix on it or something, you know, even at like a hotel, if you docked it onto a TV and was video streaming, or cloud gaming through a dock, whether that's on a portable monitor, just handheld, or onto a big screen TV. Cloud gaming continues to surprise me now, which I really don't like that I'm saying, but there we go. And obviously, if you want to continue playing like an Xbox game that you've been playing on your actual Xbox, like Series S or X, and you want to just pick up something and continue playing if you're going on a trip or whatever, you know, utilizing Xbox Play Anywhere titles, which is fantastic, or just Game Pass, or even just playing your Steam games on the go or whatever. Do I think the Xbox Ally could be your only device? If you're on a budget and you're very strict with that budget and you cannot go anywhere else, then yeah, I think this can fill your void. Just, of course, don't be expecting to play modern titles at high frame rates or anything like that, but it will be able to get the job done, providing you can deal, you know, with those lower frame rates. So there we have it. What do you think about the Xbox Ally? How are you using yours? What kind of games do you play? Are you using it for something other than gaming? I'd love to hear all your thoughts down in the comments below. Whilst you're down there, like this video, subscribe, become a member, and you can talk to us over on our private Discord. And I'll see you in the next one. Thanks for watching.